What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Merab Dvalishvili reveals why he accepted Sean O'Malley rematch. Merab Dvalishvili didn't seem to push back much when talk about a rematch with Sean O'Malley started making the round. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. Well, in a recent interview the bantamweight champion recently did, he provided some insights as to why. Dvalishvili is booked to face O'Malley again at UFC 316 on June 7th. Since O'Malley has not fought since he lost the belt to Merab last September, and because he only defended the title once, not everyone believes that Sugar should be getting a title shot so soon. In a recent interview Merab did with ESPN, he admitted he's had a bit of trouble getting motivated for the fight, but he also acknowledged that he expects a serious challenge from the former champion. This rematch is a little bit weird because it's hard to motivate myself, you know? I'm fighting the same guy, but I know this guy will be more dangerous now. First fight I was game, I had a game plan. I knew it was gonna work against him, and he had a game plan and I stopped his game plan. Now, I don't know what game plan he's gonna have. Not long after O'Malley lost the belt to Merab, he started driving for a rematch, as Sugar believes he should have been awarded the decision there. But O'Malley was forced to the sidelines because of a hip injury. So when asked about the timing of the rematch, Merab reported one of the reasons he went with UFC 316 was so O'Malley had more time to recover. After I beat Umar, the UFC called and asked me whether I wanted to fight in April, which was here in Miami, or June in New Jersey, and I said yes to June in New Jersey for two reasons. First reason, this way Sean has more time for a recover, and the second reason is New Jersey is it's gonna be like my home because I still live in New York. I'm still training there to represent myself and the team, and lots of Georgians have come to live in New York. It's not surprising, of course, that Merab wanted to fight so close to home, but what do you make of him reporting he wanted to give O'Malley more time? During the interview, Dvalishvili also repeated he wants to fight 2 more times in 2025. Let's see if we get this one and 2 more this year. Let's see if we get 2 more. I'm willing. That's how excited I am. If Dvalishvili can defeat O'Malley 1 more time and record 2 more victories in 2025, will he be in the Fighter of the Year conversation? While we're on the topic of Sean O'Malley versus Merab, Joe Rogan talked about the rematch on a recent episode of the JRE podcast. Although Rogan is a fan of Sean O'Malley quitting social media, he doesn't see how O'Malley can get past the cardio king Merab. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, the Merab rematch with Sugar Sean, that's an interesting fight. Very interesting fight. I do not know how Sugar Sean keeps that guy off of him, but I do like what he's been doing. Got off social media, stopped smoking, just dialed the in. Got his hip fixed, which was a big problem. There's a lot of these fighters that take these fights because it's a lot of money and it's a big event and they don't want to cancel and they got a significant injury.
Yeah.
Sean could not wrestle. Imagine not being able to wrestle in camp and you got to go face Merab. He's a animal. That guy's superhuman. There's no one like him. The cardio that guy has is off the charts. It's just off the charts. I've never seen anything like it. He doesn't get tired. And he's full gas. No breaks. The entire fight. It's just smothering, overwhelming people. Even Nurmagomedov, who's also an animal.
Yeah.
He couldn't keep him off of him.
I know.
This mother crazy. And then when DC went to visit him on Sunday, the day after the fight, he was out running. He's an animal, man. He's a animal.
Belal Muhammad versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. In October, Belal Muhammad is no longer the UFC's welterweight champion, following his upset loss to Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 315. But it certainly doesn't sound like he's lost any confidence on account of the defeat, and this is probably a good thing for him, as it's being reported that Belal will fight Shavkat Rakhmonov next. Muhammad recently appeared on the Remember the Show podcast. During the interview, Belal made it clear that his loss to GDM does not have him rethinking his hopes and dreams.
I felt the best I ever felt. I felt the strongest I ever felt. It was a great camp, great things. And like I said, I feel like I'm still improving every single fight. I'm still getting better every single fight. And I still have that hunger and desire to keep achieving greatness. There's nothing in me that's like, I'm done now, or I'm sad now, or all right, let's just see what YouTubers are out there. Nah, man, I'm still chasing the legacy. I'm still chasing the dream. I'm still chasing GSP. GSP lost the belt and he gained it back. So for my mentality, we're still here. And I don't care how old they are or how old they think I am. Go in there and beat me. And there's not a lot of guys that are going to be able to do that.
Belal's confidence is pretty understandable, given that he defeated several world-class welterweights during his 11-fight undefeated run. But given that Belal is now 36, do you think he has time to put together a legacy similar to Georges St. Pierre? Well, as noted, his path back to the title will apparently go through Rakhmonov. During the Anik and Florian podcast, the UFC announcer reported this.
I'm glad that he has an undisputed UFC welterweight championship belt at home, and I'm glad that he's married to the game, and we'll see what Shavkat Rakhmonov has for him in October. Okay, Belal versus Shavkat in October. There's your breaking news.
After the clip started circulating online, Shavkat's manager, Daniel Rubenstein, went on X and shut down the rumors. He said the following on X, "LOL, no it's not." One fan reacted to the manager's claim and said, "In the works and booked are two different things. Crazy Kev is a workhorse." To which Shavkat's manager fired back with, "What's it called when it's never been even remotely brought up in any conversation with the UFC? Kevin's not a workhorse, he's a hack." Anik said it in jest. He has no desire to do any real journalism. He throws a dart and prays I don't see his tweet to prove him wrong, yet again. John Anik, who accidentally started the rumor, reacted to the manager's tweet and said, "LOL, tone is critical." Are you disappointed that Shavkat versus Belal rumors got shut down? Let us know in the comments below. Israel Adesanya not bothered by UFC losses. Israel Adesanya has lost 3 straight fights, and some fans have closed the book on the championship era of his career. But it sounds like the last stylebender is doing just fine, despite his recent setbacks. It wasn't that long ago when Adesanya was once again standing on top of the middleweight mountain after defeating, finally, Alex Pereira in April 2023. At the time, Adesanya was widely considered to be one of the best fighters in the world. But since then, the star has dropped consecutive fights to Sean Strickland, Dricus du Plessis, and Nasruddin Imavov. Former fighter turned coach Tim Welsh has worked with Adesanya in recent months. During a recent episode of Tim Welsh's podcast, he had this to say about Adesanya after spending time with him again. "I don't know what to expect with Izzy. I've seen him a couple of times in fight weeks and just say him, but you never know what people are dealing with in fight weeks. They're cutting weight, I don't know about him, but he came and hung out with us and it was crazy just how humble the dude was. How humble he was and how just nice of a dude he was. And you'd think he would kind of be bitter. He is coming off 3 losses, he may be bitter or just bad mood, but he wasn't. He just seems so at peace." What do you make of Welsh's comments about Adesanya? And do you see the soon-to-be 36-year-old fighting for a UFC title again? Joe Rogan talks about struggles in the UFC. Joe Rogan may still be one of the biggest names in all of MMA on account of his continued presence on UFC pay-per-views. But the at times polarizing figure can admit when he's made gaffes during broadcasts. Case in point, recently, former NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers was a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience. While discussing how hard it can be to remember and correctly pronounce certain fighters' names, Rogan admitted he's missed the mark sometimes.
Yeah, there's struggles. Yeah, some of them are rough, I up Umar Nurmagomedov's name once, but that was just because I knew his name. I knew how to say it. It's just my mouth didn't work right. Yeah, I just it up. There's a lot of these Russian and Dagestan names that are really Zabit Magomed Sharapirov. That one is crazy. There's a bunch of crazy ones.
You in the hotel room just practicing?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
I get them. What happens is before the weigh-ins, sometimes I've never seen a guy fight before. They're new to the UFC. Yeah. So then I have to find them online and watch some of their fights online. And then even then, there's discrepancies in how to say the name. And so that we have to get it from them. And then they have little recordings where the fighter will say their name. And they're like, Jesus Christ, play that back again. What is the vowels he's using?
Rogan certainly isn't the only person to butcher a fighter's name while attempting to say it. Although it's interesting to hear that he's still watching fighters online, as some have questioned in recent years if the massive and busy star still does research before UFC cards. What fighter's name gives you the most trouble? UFC analyst explains why Justin Gaethje didn't get Ilia Topuria fight. Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira are going to fight for the UFC's now vacant lightweight title next. But not everyone is sure that was the right fight to make. Topuria and Oliveira will battle for the belt that Islam Makhachev vacated in the main event of the June 28th UFC 317 card. Before the fight was confirmed, Justin Gaethje's name was also getting mentioned on account of his extended run at the top of the division. John Anik relayed to coach and analyst Dean Thomas that Gaethje was upset that he was passed over. During a recent episode of the Fight Court podcast, Thomas had this to say in response. "I think that would have excited me more too. I think the only other reason I could see them not giving it to Gaethje is maybe just the lasting impression of him getting knocked out by Max Holloway might have hurt his stock a little bit in terms of championship aspirations. It's tough to say where Gaethje even goes from here. Do you put him against Arman Tsarukyan? I would much rather see him fight Ilia, honestly. I would much rather have seen that. Maybe he did get kind of passed up and it was just based on our own perceptions and bias towards Charles, just almost accepting that he deserved to be in that spot, and I didn't even question it." Do you think Gaethje should have been tapped for a title shot instead of Do Bronx? And which matchup would you rather see? UFC updates. Let's take a look at some news regarding UFC matchups. Recently, the social media outlet Korean MMA reported that welterweights Seok Ko and Oben Elliott are set to throw down at the UFC's June 21st card in Azerbaijan. Ko will be making his official UFC debut after defeating Igor Cavalcanti on Dana White's Contender Series. Elliott, meanwhile, put away Basil Hafez with strikes in his last outing. Ko and Elliott were supposed to fight Billy Ray Goff and Ramiz Brahimaj, respectively. So, since they're fighting at UFC Baku, Garrett Kerman is reporting that the Americans, Goff and Brahimaj, will throw hands at UFC Vegas 107 on May 31st. Brahimaj is coming off a stoppage win over Mickey Gall in November and is 3-2 in his last 5. Goff has not fought since he lost via decision to Trey Waters in May of 2024. That loss snapped his 7-fight winning streak. And following his stoppage win over Sean Woodson in April, Dan Ige is reporting he's back in camp for his next fight. 20th UFC fight camp has begun. Never back down from a challenge, always a punch away from greatness. Who do you want to see Ige fight? Finally, following recent reports that Alex Caceres has been cut by the UFC, the veteran fighter says that it's all fake news. While speaking with MMA Jefe, Caceres reported that his UFC contract has ended, but that he expects to be back in the octagon.
A lot of people are speculating and spreading a lot of false information. They're saying that I'm cut from the UFC.
Okay.
It's not the case.
No.
My contract just finished.
Okay.
So we haven't re-signed the next contract yet.
Yeah.
So we're waiting for them to re-sign the next contract. They said we're gonna re-sign. We're just waiting for, I guess, the right opponent to re-sign with. And so at the moment, they said that I can go and do whatever I want since I'm a free agent. But I'm still on the roster with the UFC. I have not been cut.
Who do you want to see Bruce Leroy battle next? Matt Brown gives advice to Tom Aspinall for John Jones' fight delay. As John Jones continues to have the word duck fired his way, more and more people are calling on Tom Aspinall to fight, and Matt Brown is one of them. For months now, the MMA world has been waiting to see if and when Jones and Aspinall will fight. Dana White has repeatedly said that the bout is going to happen, but as we near the midpoint of 2025, there's still no word. And all the while, Jones continues to troll fans about whether he'll even fight again. Well, recently, Brown weighed in on the situation during the Fighter vs. the Writer podcast. The former welterweight contender reported he thinks Aspinall should take another fight. I look at that just like the Michael Chandler situation with Conor McGregor. Just go fight, bro. Keep your name out there. Keep showing that you are the man to fight him. Keep building your legacy. Keep your name out in the news. Keep showing the world that you're the guy that should be fighting him. If it's true, then your case is going to get stronger and stronger. If you're sitting on the sidelines, it doesn't really help your case as much. Do you agree with Matt Brown here? For perspective, by the end of July, it'll have been a whole year since Aspinall will have fought. The rising star won the interim title in November 2023 and still hasn't had the opportunity to unify the titles. Merab breaks silence on injury ahead of UFC 316. Merab's coach revealed on Submission Radio that he's not worried about Merab's toe injury, saying that he wouldn't post it if it was going to be an issue in the rematch against O'Malley. He said, "I'm sure he broke his toe. That's nothing compared to some of the things we've had going into a lot of the fights. He's going to show up and do his job no matter what." And before we continue, we have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day. Merab also posted a promotional video where he ran down the side of a mountain, showing everyone that his foot is fine. Here's the clip.
Let's go! New Jersey, I'm coming. June 7th. And still, Sugar, you better show up. And let's show people good fight, good scrap. No excuse for you, no excuse for me. And people, I promise, you're gonna have a great time, good fight. And I'm coming. I'm healthy, I'm ready, I'm hungry. Life is good. Look at this beautiful nature. Look at this. This is good life. I love this. Let's go. Let's go, guys.